Hi, my name's Kate Sullivan, and so today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my text set. And so, my text set, I chose the topic of inclusive text, which is a pretty broad topic, but it basically means text that has a main character who identifies as part of a minority group. I chose this topic because I'm really passionate about inclusive classrooms. I think that should be a first priority for every teacher. Um, because students should see examples of people who look like them in the literature they're reading and also people who look different from them in the literature they're reading. So the first book I'm going to share with you is The House on Mango Street. This is it's my favorite book in the text set and one of my favorite books ever. It's about a girl named Esperanza and her journey to understanding her identities as a Latino woman growing up on Mango Street, which is considered like a bad neighborhood in Chicago, which it just is a more low income neighborhood. And it's told in really short chapters that are almost like free verse poems. They're so powerful and so good, and I would recommend this book to anyone and everybody. The next book I'm going to talk about is A Long Walk to Water, which is also an incredible book. It follows two stories of two different Sudanese children. One is named Salva, and the other one is a girl named Naya, I'm sorry. And Salva, it's set in two different time periods, and it's kind of about how their stories intertwine and how they're related to each other. It's a very beautiful story. It's also based on a true story, which I think is a very cool aspect of it because it could lead into a lot of good research projects. And I think that just the realities it talks about are very different than the realities a lot of people face in America, and so I think this is a really good text to share with students to get them thinking about things outside of themselves. The next book I'm going to talk about is called Coming on Home Soon by Jacqueline Woodson. I also included another one of her books in my text set because she is just a great writer. The other one is called Brown Girl Dreaming, but this one is a picture book, and it's about this little girl named Ada Ruth. I think that's how you pronounce her name, and her mom has to move to Chicago because she needs to find work, and it's set in a time period in which African American women couldn't find work easily. So I really liked this book because the majority of it is just about Ada Ruth missing her mom, and although it's kind of about a topic that a lot of people can't relate to because at least I can't relate to because of the race aspect of it. It is something that everybody can understand and relate to because it's about missing people, which we all miss people. And so I really liked that book because it was beautifully written and it's about a very relatable topic and unrelatable, so it's kind of has the empathy piece. The two other books I don't have with me. I had to return them, but Malala's Magic Pencil is the first one I'd like to talk about, and that is also a picture book. It's also based on a true story. It's an autobiography, kind of. It's written by Malala, but it's not about true things that happened because it talks about if she had a magic pencil and what she would do with it and all of her hopes and dreams of building a more peaceful place, a more peaceful world, and also talks about her fears of what could happen because her story is, if you haven't heard it, it's very inspirational, it's very impactful, and so that book I think would also be a really great book to share with a classroom. My last book, very quickly, is called Dreamers by Yu Morales. I think that's how you pronounce it, and it's about a mother and son, and their journey to America as immigrants from Mexico, and just the difference they're struggling with the differences in culture and language, and then they found a public library and how that public library transformed their journey. And one of my favorite parts of the books was the pictures were very much culturally, they had aspects of Mexican art and of American art kind of, and so the pictures, I think that that book really utilized it being a picture book for the story and for the cultural aspect of it, which I loved. I went a little bit over 5 minutes, but I tried to talk fast. The last one I recorded was 10 minutes, so I'd say this is an improvement. Thank you so much for listening, and I recommend all of these books highly. And yes, thank you so much. Bye bye.